it was the difference between me going from a break-even trader to a profitable trader in 2023 when I just started taking partial profits. If you want to succeed, I think you have to have another source of income. Absolutely. You can't just be, in your 40s with wife and kids and then suddenly decide to take up trading when you're unemployed. Yeah, definitely that won't work out.
I think people just have this expectation almost from social media of like, I have to go all in on it. And if I don't go all in on it, it's a waste of my time. Like, no, you could be trading like you do. And not like I do, an hour or two a day.
Yeah.
And then increasing family income 10, 20, 30% without doing a lot of heavy lifting because of prop firms now.
I think so many people would save so much money if they just think about trading from a scalable perspective.
I've heard it once a month. I'm going to code this. I'm going to build a bot. I'm going to do this. I'm like, okay, go for it. Like I never tell people no, but then when some of them have a brain and they go, have you met anyone that's got a profitable bot or like that's helping them make money?
Never.
Literally never. So you said you funded a live account. So you got the live account, personal capital. When we spoke last, you were with Top Step and Tradeify. Who are you with now?
So I'm with TPT.
Okay.
I have just the one pro account.
Nice.
I'm trading that, taking daily payouts when I'm eligible.
That's a big pro with them. The daily payouts is huge.
Yeah, honestly, that's the main thing for me. It's kind of like having a live account when you have the pro account because you can just withdraw daily if you meet the requirement. But I'm trading that alongside my personal account of 10K. So
nice. That's awesome. And like we were saying before we started the recording, living in Miami, so still on East Coast time. Bro, you're speaking about the sleep with the kid and everything. It's like I have guys that are trading on the West Coast and they have a baby. Like it seems to me like near impossible, Yeah, so at least we have the time zone on our side.
Oh, absolutely.
How long you been rocking the blue light blockers? You like them?
Yeah, so I recently transitioned to the orange tint because I've been wearing the blue light blocker since 2020 because of so much screen time.
Yep.
But I needed something more because I was getting pretty bad eye strain with all the work that I have to do on the computer. So I just switched to the orange tints, and it's gotten a lot better. I'm not gonna lie.
I was gonna say, like, people think that this is one of those like, oh, it's kind of like a corny biohack. I'm telling you, I had pain behind my eyes from so much screen time, and it goes away instantly. You put the flux on this and you do this, you're good.
Yeah, it's crazy. Sometimes I get on the computer, I forget to pop them on, and like 20 minutes after, I'm like, my eyes are a little uncomfortable.
Exactly. You almost hate it. Dude, I wear these all the time. I wear them in public. Like everything to me is now anti-blue light. I'm trying to keep because I wonder long-term how bad all this blue light is for your eyes. Like when we are older, are our eyes going to be worse than our grandparents that never looked at screens? I don't know. It's a fair question.
Yeah, we got to do our best. Like I do eye exercises. I'll look 20 feet away for like 20 seconds. They call it like the 20-20-20 rule. And that does help a little bit just to watch for my eye health because I have pretty good vision. I don't want to mess that up,
Yeah, you got to take that. I had a guy on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, bro. Listen to this. He does rapid eye movement, basically like hypnosis with traders. And one of the guys that I've done some work with, Tanner, he put me on with this trading coach because the rapid eye movement really helped him. Isn't that interesting?
Does that help like at a psychological level? Or
I guess if you listen to the podcast, what he basically is saying is it has something to do with reprogramming your subconscious. And yeah, so it has something to do with if you were to do it without the eye movement, it wouldn't be as impactful. But because of something with the eye movement, it like sticks in your brain better, like the retention is better. I don't know. It requires another podcast for sure. But it is interesting because I think that I could be wrong. The commenters will rip me up, but I think your eyes get more signals from your brain than they send to your brain. So your brain is actually seeing a lot of what it remembers, not just taking in new information from the eyes. I know that maybe I'm butchering that, but have you ever heard that before?
I've never heard that, but it's interesting because I know we do rapid eye movement in like a critical part of our sleep,
right?
And when we feel like most restful. So yeah, it's interesting that you could do that like at a wakeful state.
I don't know. Do you believe in hypnosis? I don't know if I believe in it. I've never seen anybody get hypnotized.
I can't comment on it because I've never been hypnotized, but I've gone to I remember like field trips when I was like in high school where they would take like your classmates and they'll hypnotize them and they'll do like silly things. I was always like, but how? You know,
But
so
how?
I've never gotten hypnotized, but
Right.
if I do get hypnotized and I go under or whatnot, then I'll believe it. But for now, I can't comment.
You come out of it. They're like, all right, he thinks he's a dog, and then you're barking for the rest of your
Yeah,
life.
dude, it's so funny.
I hear they always say they're like only certain people can be hypnotized, and I'm like, all right, that already sounds like a scam. Like now it sounds like you're scamming me. You know what I mean? My skepticism goes up right away there.
Absolutely.
So let's, before we get too far off topic, back to the prop firm stuff. When we spoke for the TradeZella video, copy trading was a thing. Now you said you're down to the one account and the personal account. How are you managing the prop and the personal capital? Traders, real quick, a pause from today's podcast to thank our first sponsor, Top One Futures. You've probably heard about them by now. Top One has been a sponsor of this show for over 2 years. We've got a link in the description that's going to save you over 35% on any challenge with Top One Futures. Just use the code ASFX and that'll save you the biggest discount that they're offering at the time of you watching this. Big shout out to Clay for being here and also for helping us make this podcast happen. A big thank you to our second sponsor, TradeZella. If you're not tracking your trades, you're falling behind. I can save you on the monthly plan and the yearly plan, whichever works better for you, but we would highly recommend that you start tracking your trades today using TradeZella. I'm a big fan of Umar. They have been nothing but supportive and helpful to me and my community, so we want to save you guys money and we want to get you tracking today. Use the link in the description and you will be able to save either 10% or 20% on your monthly or yearly plan. Now let's get back to the podcast.
Yeah, so I've thought about going with a trade copier, but it's currently under beta. I'm talking about TradeSyncer.
Yeah.
And I've seen people have issues. So what I do is I execute on TradingView with my live account, and then I just literally swipe. I go to Tradeovate and I execute the same position because I enter with limit orders, so I don't have to click the button like right away. So yeah, I just have to do double the clicking, but I don't mind.
That's the secret right there, is that because you don't have to do market orders and get slipped by a couple of seconds, the limit orders probably makes it way easier to manage multiple. Yeah,
absolutely. Sure. And the same thing with taking profits. Like if I take a partial, it's just a limit. So I'm in and out at the specific price point that I want. But yeah, that's how I'm doing it. Once TradeSyncer gets out of beta, I will definitely consider using it that way.
That's what I was going to say. Once they come out and they're ready to, really let it work and it's working. Because I've had people try it. Some people say it's working right now. It's not working. I'm sure they're going to get it figured out. That'll make it, even easier. It should be instant. This whole thing is going to become super popular, bro. This idea of like copy trading and tracking to multiple prop firms, because there's, dude, do you even know how many prop firms there are now? It's like 40 or 50. It's insane.
And they keep popping up,
every day. Yeah. Like you were saying, the new big deal happened. There's some other firms with weird names that I'd never heard of. There's just so many. It's like, how do you know who to choose? But I feel like you've been with the big firms. You always just go with the ones with the best reputation. You've never gotten sucked in with like the shiny object syndrome, have you? Have you tried any of these other firms?
No. I've only tried like top 3 just because I want my money to be guaranteed. I don't know how people get into like prop firms that no one's heard of, that don't really have a track record. To me, that's just allocating your money in a very bad way, because like, how do you know you're going to get the ROI of that money? It
100%.
just didn't make sense to me. I'd rather just go the safe route. Like, why doesn't everyone do that?
I guess because sometimes you have to, there's going to be a certain group of people, this is what I think, that know they're going to lose and they don't care. I think subconsciously they don't care. They don't believe in themselves enough to think that they're going to do it. So it doesn't matter if the firm's legit or not. They'll still take the chance. I got guys, dude, not to badmouth anyone, but like Apex sends out these emails where they're like, show us your trading strategy. Take a video of you trade. I have guys in our group that have gotten that. I don't get that. Like, I don't get how you'd want to even take a chance on a firm like that when they're asking for stuff like that.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to evaluate a trader, like, isn't that what the eval is for? Like, if you have one day to pass, that's on you. Like, you didn't evaluate enough. So dude, why are you asking for trading videos now?
I'd be tempted to send him a video of me just sitting there butt naked trading. So strategy wise, now you caught me up on the prop firm stuff. That's good. Strategy wise, has your approach changed? Because since we spoke, bro, it's been crazy volatility. We had the huge drop. We had the Liberation Day bounce, right? And then now we're almost back at all-time highs, 2 or 3% from all-time highs. So how has your strategy changed, if at all?
No, it hasn't changed whatsoever. Actually, the only thing I'm doing differently is I just cut down. I trimmed my watch list from like 8 instruments. Now I have only 3 instruments,
Okay.
uh, but I'm trading the 5 minute, uh, but the same model on the 5 minute, right? So, uh, yes, the market conditions were a little different Q1 and now into Q2, but I didn't change that. I'm a big believer in not changing my strategy. Uh, like for the long term, just because people say, oh, you have to adapt, but what if when you're adapting you're changing things? And I know that my system is proven through hundreds of trades that I've back tested, so I'm not inclined to change anything if I'm still seeing positive results. So it'll take about a quarter for me to even consider changing something or looking into the data as to like what I can improve. But to answer your question, I've changed nothing.
Okay. I like that answer. Why the 5 minute? Like out of most of the people that I see on the internet, they're trading 1 minute, you know, short, small time frame, lower time frame stuff. Why are you on the 5 minute? And then how many trades a day is that leading you to take?
I average 1 to 2 trades per day.
Okay.
And why not the 1 minute? Well, I just think it's very erratic. Uh, I know some people trade the 1 minute, 30 second, and they're completely used to it, and that's completely fine. But my narrative is always on the 4 hour, 1 hour, and I just feel like I can easily get caught up in the 1 minute time frame when I'm trading off of higher time frame POIs. That's my approach. That's been working out for me. The 15 minute, what I found was that I would be left behind. Like my price would go into the POI that I wanted to see price react from. It'll react and it'll go, but the 15 minute wouldn't give me my model. And so when I just scaled it down a little bit to the 5 minute, I started to get more entries. And yeah, that's why I transitioned to the 5 minute. And the 1 minute is just too noisy
I
for
think
me.
a lot of people listening would probably agree with you. Why do you? I don't know if you saw my tweet a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago with the ICT thing. It was very triggering to
I
people.
don't think so.
Okay, I tweeted. I was like, why are some of these ICT guys complaining about New York session
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
price action? I see some ICT guys doing well, I'm doing well. So
Yeah.
it's like your comment a few minutes ago about adapting versus strategy hopping and changing things. You said you wait a full quarter. Or do you like, how do you see from your market experience these people that are complaining about a session sucking right now? Like, are they right, do you think? Or is it, hey, you do need to maybe adapt if you are feeling that way?
I think it's on them. Like I don't like saying blanket statements for trading as a whole. Like, oh, today was trash, because my bad day can be your very profitable day. So I think it's strategy dependent. And even with ICT, there's different ways to trade ICT. There's multiple different concepts of ICT,
It's
right?
true.
So your concepts were trash today, as they say. Like today's market was trash. Well, for your strategy, like what if I caught a great trade? I don't like those types of blanket statements. Like I said in your comment, it's a skill issue, or it's just a bad time for your
Oh yeah,
model.
you did say that. You did say it's a skill issue. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yep. Yeah. So that's kind of how I feel too. You know what I mean? And even ICT himself actually replied to the tweet, and he was like, "Imagine tweeting this on a day where I called the entire market." And I was like, "That's not what I said. I wasn't bad mouthing ICT. I'm just saying some of your guys don't know how to adapt and trade in this mall. You can call it. No one's doubting you, Michael. Like whatever. But like a lot of these guys, I think, are losing accounts, getting chopped up. And then unfortunately, they're following people on Twitter, like you see some of these idiots, and they're copy trading, just torching accounts. When in reality, I think they would be better off doing what we kind of talked about in our other video of like stepping back, journaling, trying to figure out what is working right now that they are not doing, right? And then like assessing from there.
Correct. I I think it's even simpler. Like if you show up and your model's not there because price action was messy or trash, then don't trade. Like your entry model is not present. Like every day is not a trading day, and sitting on cash or not taking a position is a position within itself. So instead of complaining about it, just don't trade it, and the market's going to do what it's going to do. Yeah, not every day you're going to get a position, but the market does the same thing every day. So just trade tomorrow.
We had a good situation happen on stream today like that, where I had two guys on stream with me. I got long, one of the other guys got long, and the third guy, Randy, did not get long for whatever reason. And then within 30 seconds of me taking the position, it shot higher, and it was too late for him to chase into it. Blah, blah, blah. He starts like, kind of feeling FOMO. Everybody in the chat is long, and you could see he would have tilted if he was not with us on stream. And what I was saying to him was exactly what you were saying. No position is better than a loss. Like when you really start to see that flat is better than red, now it's like we're making progress. You know what I mean? That's what you're saying, right?
Absolutely. I think so many people would save so much money if they just think about trading from a scalable perspective, meaning the trade that you're putting on right now, maybe you're risking 100, maybe you're risking 200, but would you take the same trade if you have a live account and you have 10K on the line? That's the thought process that I go through every single day because, as I said in our last podcast, like I trade to manage risk, obviously, but I want to take the highest quality positions ever. And so if I'm not willing to put up, in my mind, like 10K, 20K risk in the future on this same trade, I won't take it. And in my model, I get maybe 2, 3, 4 entries a day, but I have to pick which ones are the best, right? And that comes with experience as well. So if people just start thinking about trading from a scalable perspective, then I think they'll do a lot better.
Do you think that the selectivity that is needed to be looking at it on scalability came to you through doing all the backtesting that we talked about before? Or where does that come from? Because I think people struggle with selectivity. So maybe if we could speak on how to be better at being selective. Is that the word?
There's only one way to gain it, and it's just through market experience and backtesting. So basically live testing and backtesting. I mean, I've been trading for 7 years now. So you will have times where something tells you that this setup is not ready. It's hard to explain that to people, but you will gain that through experience. And yes, of course, a lot of it is through backtesting. I've backtested so many different styles, and you will pick up on certain characteristics that price does according to your system and things that you need to see in order for you to take those best setups. But the only way you get it is through market experience. There's no other way to build that, like, I guess, intuition muscle. And I'll also say this, I am a mechanical trader, meaning I need two things to happen. And if those two things are not there, then I don't take it. But I use my experience. Like I said, that will happen multiple times throughout the session, but I have to make the decision to enter that trade. So I am mechanical, but just because it's there doesn't mean I have to take it. I still have to use reasoning to take that trade, you know?
So it's mechanical at the foundation. Sprinkled on top is discretion of like, this one ain't it, or there's news coming, not yet, or it's just maybe at this high, I don't like it yet, or whatever it may be. There's still some room for you to come in and step on the system and be like, no, discretionary says, let's wait a second, or discretionary says, go. And then you're saying to build that discretion, the only way to do it is backtesting and live trading and live market experience. You're telling me we have to tell the listeners there's no magic pill to shortcut the learning experience through trading.
No, there's no magic pill, because if there was a magic pill, you would just code your strategy and not have to trade, right? But there's a human element to trading, absolutely.
Think about how many people, I mean, I don't know about you, but in my entire career, like you said 7 years, I'm almost on 10. I've heard it once a month. I'm going to code this. I'm going to build a bot. I'm going to do this. I'm like, okay, go for it. Like I never tell people no, but then when some of them have a brain and they go, have you met anyone that's got a profitable bot or like that's helping them make money? Never. Literally never.
If they did have a profitable bot, why would they sell it? You know what I mean?
That, and then wouldn't they sell it to a bank that would pay them a shit ton of money and they would have cashed out, right? Like, yeah. If only it was that easy.
Yeah, sure. It's like, how do you expect to get a $200, $300 bot that's going to supposedly make you a lot of money when like these hedge funds are renting these for like thousands of dollars per month, you know? So
come on, right?
Yeah, exactly. Those don't exist. I will say this too, like the edge lies within you. The edge doesn't lie within the system. It lies within you executing that system flawlessly. The edge is not the system itself. It's actually you and your decisions.
Well said. I love that. Yeah. And what I think new traders maybe struggle with in the edge finding process is like aligning their personality with the trading strategy. So how do you feel like over time you've aligned yourself and your personality with the way that you trade?
Oh man, my biggest one is trade management.
Okay.
So often in my past, will I have a trade running in profit and not lock in any gain? That really cost me a lot, and it was the difference between me going from a break-even trader to a profitable trader in 2023 when I just started taking partial profits. Because before, what I would do is I would have a 2R target, around a 2R target, and then I'd go break even. It was either a loss, a break even, or a 2R, right? But once I started taking those partial profits at around a 1-to-1 or the nearest high and low, and then just trailing my stop accordingly, that's when I started to see changes. So that's how I've adapted it to fit my personality, because now even partial green is still green, and those will add up. Couple that with me cutting my losses short, meaning I rarely take a full R short, full -1 R. I'm able usually to cut it at around half R. And so imagine if I'm taking partial profits and I have small losses, then I'm easily taking base hits at 1 R plus with the partial only. So I think seeing green and taking green has helped me a ton.
Is there a win rate that you're looking for to maintain that? Because now we're going down my favorite rabbit hole, the
Mhm.
-1 R trade sometimes, and then just getting payouts. Like you locked in a payout today, you were saying, do you have a fixed risk reward that you're looking for on these trades? Like, oh, I'm going to shoot for 3-1, but I'll take 1-1. Or are you going at most of these now 1-1 only? Like, what's that?
It's dynamic, but
Okay.
my partial profits, I take anything above a 1 R. So if
Okay.
there's an area where I think price can reject, I will take it at that area, half of the volume or more, and then the rest I'll have it at the next higher low. That's at around 2 to 1.
Nice. And you said you're looking at a few markets now. Do you have a preference on any specific market? Because I don't talk to too many traders in the future space that are trading more than ES and NQ.
Yeah, yeah. So I have some thoughts around that. I don't know why people only trade equities. To me, they're messy. I've never really liked them. So it's surprising me that people stick to one instrument, which is ES or NQ. I don't like it. I haven't found much success with it, and I don't know why people would only trade that market. But
Interesting.
yeah, that's just, I guess, how I see the market. I come from Forex, so I'm used to trading like pound yen, euro dollar, euro yen, da, da, da. So I had a lot of like a watch list, right? So I approached futures in that way, where when I started trading futures, I saw people were only trading one or two instruments, which is ES or NQ. So yeah, I have a watch list of three instruments. I trade oil, I trade gold, and the euro. And I don't always have setups on one instrument, so that's why I got to diversify. And there's periods where euro will consolidate,
Right.
and I won't get trades on it. And but I have other instruments. The kind of like this year, NQ and ES has been a little wild, and so I don't think that I would have done fantastic trading those instruments this year. But then I would have other to fall back on and diversify.
And gold's been ripping. Oil, I mean, the last couple of days because of the Iran thing. But before that, it's mainly been gold, right? Like you've probably been buying gold and doing well on gold longs, I'm going to
Yeah,
guess.
gold is my most profitable instrument. In fact, today's winning trade was on gold, a long on gold after we just dumped in the morning.
Do you find like any use in order flow when you're looking at gold, or because it's not a indice that doesn't matter as much? Like, what do you think drives gold? Why is it so high right now?
What do you mean by order flow?
For example, like when I trade ES, I'm looking at Bookmap and I'm able to tap into the CME, where like with gold, I think you would tap into the COMEX and you would be able to look at where there are orders that want to be filled. Does that component matter to trading gold? Because it definitely matters on ES. Like it's worked too many times where I've seen heavy order blocks want to be filled and then they get filled. You know, it's made a big difference for me. So I'm wondering, is that driving any of this movement in gold? Like, are people wanting to be filled at higher? Are bid and ask wanting to be filled higher? Because it just seems to keep going up.
Yeah, I macroeconomically, I don't know what's driving gold to go higher. I think it's a hedge against the dollar, as it's been historically. But no, I don't use order flow. I do use imbalances on my charts. So imbalances tend to get filled.
Yeah.
And if they're not, they're reaching out opposing liquidity. So that's really what I use to gauge where there are orders, is really just imbalances in the market in the form of a fair value gap.
Got it. So in the sense of there being imbalances for where you look for trades, wouldn't there be imbalances to the downside right now after gold has gone on such a rip over the last few months? Or is that now, are we beyond them so much that it doesn't matter? Or have they filled along this rally?
Yeah, many of them have been filled, but oftentimes we don't get a large pullback on gold. So you have to be okay with not anticipating at least a 50% pullback on like a 1 hour move, right? So uh, just because gold has been ripping up doesn't mean I'm not shorting gold. I'm also shorting gold if the setup is there, because I tend to gravitate to a mean reversion kind of like mindset. Like when something's been going up and up and up, I'm like, it's probably due for a pullback at some point in time. So I'll transition to a short bias if my model is there. I have no issue doing that whatsoever. So yeah, it doesn't matter. It's depending on what the chart is telling me at that current time.
Will you flip a bias within the same day? Will you go from looking for longs to then looking for shorts if the longs don't work?
Yeah, I will, and I base my bias heavily on whether we're in premium pricing or discounted pricing based on a given range. Like I usually use the 1 hour. Like let's say we have a big move and we're below that 50%, I'm gonna gravitate to taking buys at that area. But if we're still at the top half, meaning premium prices, I want to sell that. So depending on where we are in that range for that given day, and gold can move very quickly, so we can easily pop lower, and I'll be looking for a buy. So I don't like to react. I like to predict, and it's kind of backwards. People say no, react. Well, for me, it's like I'd rather forecast what I'm going to do ahead of time at a specific level than react because it's already pre-planned. You know?
Interesting. Yeah. I don't disagree in the way that you're saying it. The way that you explained it makes sense. It's a different perspective than what I'm used to for sure. But I can see why it would work. Do you find that it's difficult being a mean reversion trader to get a higher win rate? Do you find yourself getting stopped small for some of these losses and then having to make it back with maybe a little bit bigger of a win?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I'll say no because my trade management and my entries are if they work out, they're
Because I'm on point, bro.
yeah, man. My entries are good. So if I'm able to get that really good entry and if it ends up working out, I'm usually really good with trailing my stops accordingly and minimizing that loss as best as possible. Because at the end of the day, we are risk managers, and I always go into each trade thinking, okay, how can I remove my risk as efficiently as possible? And once I've done that, I feel like I've done my job, and then I'm able to think about the profit. But first is always like, how can I mitigate my risk as quickly as possible, as sensibly as possible, so that I can manage this accordingly. Especially that I trade reversals for the most part. I definitely have to go in it, I guess, with a defensive mindset. You know.
How do you balance the line of defensive trading versus aggressive trading? How do you show your aggressive tendencies to make money, but then how do you show your defensive tendencies? One of them is trailing your stop. So, that's I think a defensive strategy. Do you have any thoughts on like how to be aggressive then still?
What do you mean by aggressive?
Like when you look at a setup,
Yeah.
is it always the same position size? Do you have any setups where you'll put
Okay.
more position size on it and start to put like, oh, this is my setup?
Okay, so another hot take that I think a lot of people might not agree with is dynamic position sizing. I don't subscribe to it because uh, in the book Trading in the Zone, I know it's super cliche, but he says uh, every trading error that you do is because you think you know what's going to happen next. And so when you change your position sizing depending on market conditions or whatever, is you thinking you know what's going to happen next. And I don't subscribe to it because then I start playing with the numbers. A trade that I have heavy conviction on can lose, but a trade that's, I guess, B minus can win. And so I don't like to play with the numbers. I like to have a fixed uh, risk amount for every single trade because if I change that, that's me saying to the market, I know what's going to happen next, and I don't.
I don't disagree fully. I think most of my trades, depending on what size account I'm trading, it is usually about the same position size, same dollar amount. If I need a bigger stop loss, it'll be a smaller position, but it's the same financial risk. Okay, that's a good answer. What about balancing like your personality has its flaws and its strengths? How does that show in your trading strategy today? 2 trades, very disciplined, very systematized, very discretion. Where does it show, maybe if you could expose yourself a little bit and say there's weak points of like what you're working on trying to get better at?
Yeah, my by far the I guess the biggest trading error that I do is revenge trading. Now, my revenge trading doesn't come in the like I don't lose a trade and then full port my whole account. No, it comes into effect when I lose a trade and then I'm actively looking for a second trade that perhaps isn't as high quality or perhaps that my intuition told me maybe sit it out, you know? So my revenge trading comes like I don't over risk or anything. It's just I just take trades that I know I probably shouldn't be taking if I'm looking for A plus trades.
I'm hearing the song, my mind is telling me no.
Yes.
My body. That's you, right? You're like, I know I shouldn't be in this right now, but I'm going to take the trade anyway.
I think we're all degenerates at the end of the day. You know, I would just full port it, but I'm a risk trader. I'm a risk manager. I know what I have to do, and I guess that comes back to discipline. You know, you know, discipline is doing what you know you need to do,
even when you don't want to do it. And it's like listening to your intuition when the intuition says, yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because I bet you a lot of listeners are surprised to hear that because I bet you they all can relate to it. Like we all have it, like you just said, in us. I'm sure now 7 years into this, you're probably starting to see all of those bad habits. They creep up at any time. It's about just making them happen less often, spacing it out. What are
Yeah.
you doing to take breaks? What are you doing to like stay sharp mentally? Are you forcing yourself to not trade every day? If it's not there, you just shut it down. Are you taking long weekends? I'm big on this concept of like taking breaks before you are forced to take a break right now. Like, because you know how it is. Everybody trades, blows up, has to take a break, has to stop. What are you doing to balance this so maybe you don't get to that point of burnout and blowout?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Saturdays and Sundays, I take it completely off. I work Monday through Friday, and that's when I'm locked in and trading. Saturdays, Sundays, if I do get on the charts, it's just to review some of my trades, but I try to just unwind and just enjoy the weekend and no trading work at all. Number two is I have a specific trading window from 9:45 to 11:45, sometimes 12 if there's a setup, but just a couple hours a day. And I also limit myself to 2 to 3 trades per day. If the first two are losses or partial losses, then I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done completely. But the maximum amount of trades I'll take on any given day is 3, no more than 3.
Cool. I mean, I think that those are good ways to like keep it so you're not burning out. So let me ask you this. This is maybe a little bit elementary for you. I got a guy, comes up often, struggles with over trading, can't control himself, like literally cannot stop. Even if he tells me, hey, I'm going to stop at 3 trades a day, or I'm going to stop at 2 trades, and he can't.
Yeah.
What is your advice to those people? Because I'm sure there's a couple of them listening.
I think people like that, they just want the results today without putting the effort and the reps in. They want that success now. Now, my advice to them would be to have a max trade limit and to kind of prioritize the bullets in the chamber that they have for that one given day. But I mean, I want to say that you kind of have to go through that as a trader in the beginning stages, like to overtrade, and get burnt multiple times to learn from that, to really get out of that and learn from it. Because you can tell someone, what they should do, but are they going to do it? I don't know. Sometimes they have to get a little burnt and, change their ways, I guess.
It kind of sounds like you want to say too, tell me if I'm wrong, but do you feel like trading isn't for everybody now that you're actually getting consistent with it, you're confident with it? Do you think that anyone can be a trader?
Ooh, yes.
Ooh, mic dropped.
I think you can if you stick with it long enough, because trading will expose a lot of negative tendencies, and you have to be self-aware enough to understand where you're bleeding money, where you're making the poor decisions. I was always self-aware, so I always knew when I was making an error, even in the beginning stages, but I would still act on it. So I think it's being aware of the errors that you're making, like where you're bleeding that money. But then when it comes time to push that button, maybe don't push it. So it's that millisecond, that timing where you have to be like, no, I'm not going to take this because X, Y, and Z.
100%.
But yeah, it's hard. You need to get burned sometimes. But yeah,
That is the truth. Some of them definitely do. But I think, your answer is a little more optimistic than maybe how I feel. I talk to so many people about trading. I'm like, there's just certain people that I know it's better for them, maybe just right now in their life, to not do it. Financially, maybe
yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
yeah.
Time, maybe it doesn't make sense, right? So maybe at a certain point, it's anybody can do it. But yeah, I like your optimism. I like it.
I think
With
you have to have, if you want to succeed, I think you have to have another source of income. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't just be, in your 40s with wife and kids and then suddenly decide to take up trading when you're unemployed. Yeah, definitely that won't work out.
that won't
You absolutely need another source of income that's going to take care of bills.
Which is, I mean, like, it's just stupid that I think social media created the idea that you have to go all in on trading and make it your sole source of income. Like, that's just it's one of the many stupid things that social media has made people believe. It's like, why not just, hey, if you make 10 grand a month between you and your wife, and then trading can make you another 2,500, what percentage did you just increase your household income? Right? Like, you're not making life-changing money, but you are increasing you can actually go out to eat a few more times, pay off some of the credit card bills, like real world stuff, right? Not Lambos and Richard Mille watches, right? I think people just have this expectation almost from social media of like, I have to go all in on it. And if I don't go all in on it, it's a waste of my time. Like, no, you could be trading like you do. And like I do, an hour or two a day,
Yeah.
and then increasing family income 10, 20, 30% without doing a lot of heavy lifting because of prop firms now. Do you agree?
I agree 100%. Austin, let's be honest. Like, professional trading is really boring. You're clicking buttons and you're done in sometimes like 15 minutes, right? And you just looking at a screen. It can get boring. So you need to do something outside of those 2 hours out of your day. Like trading is such a small part of my day that like I have so much more time. So it would be wise to fill that up with other endeavors that you can make some more money in, right? And
Absolutely.
that's actually going to help your trading, which is the interesting part. Like having
Well,
that source of income is going to help. And also, one more thing is, there's a statistic that I'm sure you're aware of is most millionaires have multiple sources of income. I think the number they used was like seven. So why not do that in trading? And in fact, there's lucrative ways to make money in trading. You can sell courses, you can sell other trading related services around your trading. So that's kind of like what I want to do, you know?
dude, that's what I've been encouraging everybody to do. Even people in my mentorship, I'm like, start a YouTube channel, start documenting your journey. That's what I did. Nobody said to me, hey, go do it. So I'll say it to people. Hey, go do it. Because I think it made me a better trader. I trade better when I trade in front of people now. I've always been that way. Like it keeps me more accountable because I am a degenerate like the rest of us, right? So
Yeah.
it's helped me. So I encourage people, not only will it help you make more money, it'll help you trade better. It's a win-win. And then if you're making more money, trading's less stressful, you'll probably trade really well. That's usually what it is. I've seen good traders trade like shit because they need the money. I got a couple of guys doing that right now. And then when finances ease up, they start trading really well again. It's not like a shock to me anymore. But like I said, it goes back to just people thinking trading, I have to be a Wolf of Wall Street guy. I got to be like, no, you not at all. There's so many There's so many misconceptions around
Yeah.
making money, especially with prop firms. And this leads me to my next question for you. Like, look, because you were with Top Step, you were with Tradeify, TPT, you've tried all the big firms. Do you think prop firms are a good place for new traders to start? Like when you're talking to people that have never traded before, do you tell them about prop firms as a good entry point?
No, I wouldn't recommend prop firms, and a lot of prop firms say they say, oh yeah, come take a practice trading with an account with us. But I think it's really easy to get caught up in like reset, 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 reset. Whereas I would tell someone that's new, just load up an account on Tradeovate with like a few $100s. There's very decent leverage. Just trade a micro, just trade micros, because I think it's very easy to just full port an account and then fail that challenge and then just get into a vicious cycle where and you just end up spending so much money. So I would recommend beginners to just load up a small personal live account because I think you're going to take care of that better, right? And just focus on getting your reps in with that account. And once you've seen decent success with that live account, then I think it's time to take a challenge because I don't think anyone that's unprofitable should be taking challenges to begin with. I think it's irresponsible. And I think there's something to prove with a challenge that you haven't proven yet. Because if you can't even do it in the live market, you probably can't do it with multiple challenges, in my opinion.
It's great. I can't argue it. Again, I disagree, but I can't argue it because you're right. I've been telling people because I lost so much money when I started trading, right? Like 40, almost 50 grand when I first started with my own money.
Mm.
I tell people, dude, you'll figure it out before you spend 40 grand on a prop firm. But to your point, I would guess most people will get stuck in that cycle of buy, reset, and then that isn't good either. So I do see your perspective. So then do you believe in like new traders start demo, or you think no, new traders start with a small amount of live cash? If you don't have a couple thousand or a couple hundred to invest, just don't do it yet. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Like new traders, yeah, start on demo to know how to place an order. But once you're beyond that, I think it's okay to start with. I mean, risk what you're comfortable risking, right? If you only have $100, 200, whatever. I'm not saying to deposit a 10K account, but just have an account that's big enough that you can, respect and take good trades on. Because I think seeing a live dollar value fluctuation is gonna train your subconscious, your feelings, your psychology, and whatnot. It's gonna train you to make better decisions because we all know demo money is not real and it doesn't really hit the same. Like when I see thousands of dollars running in prop accounts, like it doesn't really hit me. I know it's fake. But when I see my live account running, I'm like, all right, this is liquid cash that I can take out at the end of the day,
Yes. Yeah. And that's where firms that have good live programs like TPT, that's where they really do come in. I interviewed the guy that runs TPT, one of them, James. You know who that is? James
Yes,
Sixton.
yes.
Yeah. He's a big hockey guy.
Yeah. I haven't seen the interview, but
it's old. It was from a while ago. We did it
okay.
while back. Yeah. He's based in Florida. I was actually going to hit him up and try to do one before I move, but it just didn't end up working. But I mean, you know what's interesting about them? Never in the drama. Never is TPT
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Twitter
yeah.
drama, ever.
In fact, you go to their Twitter and like they don't really post anything. Like they just stay away from basically any drama at all, which is great. I love it.
I love it. And well, it's because Twitter is like this micro ecosystem where everyone thinks that they're important. But then when you come out into the real world where real business is being done, it's like none of you are important. That's the reality. There's so many customers, there's so many people off Twitter that Twitter just makes people in our space, I think, feel important sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And some firms do really good with I guess negative backlash or whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like the approach that James has been taking with TPC, and I think they've been in business since 2021, and they just started like I guess popping off, right?
Yep, yep. And they maybe even before then, honestly, I don't know. But they there's some of the firms like there's that take the complete opposite approach and like are on Twitter bad mouthing other firms and talking shit to other firms. And it's like that doesn't make the space better. That doesn't make any of us collaborate more. It doesn't uplift traders when you do that, you know. So Twitter's a pretty toxic place. You're on Twitter, but you're not on there that much. I don't see you on there
Yeah, like I'm on it, but I'm not. Like
that much.
it's when it requires work to be posting and to actively engage with others to grow the Twitter account. That's when it becomes kind of like
A job.
hassle. Yeah, because I kind of just want to execute and not have to. But if I want to grow in the space, then I definitely have to be more active and just get out there. But I am getting better.
If you want to grow in the space, come on, do like Patrick and just talk shit to everybody about everything, and then you'll get famous, right? Isn't that the way
Yeah,
to success? Right.
that's one approach, and I've like thought about how PW like, gets all his traction, and if you just look back at what he does, he's just kind of bad mouths big
Everybody.
in the space, and
Yeah.
it gets clicks. So
Yep. I had him on the podcast too.
I saw. Yeah, it
And
was
he's a totally normal guy. He
yeah,
just does the beef with people just to get on their nerves.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it works, and it works very well.
It does. It definitely does. I mean, we're talking about him right now, so he's
Yeah,
winning.
yeah,
No.
but he's pushing it too. He can actually trade.
Oh, he can actually trade, and he might blow a lot of accounts, but he takes big risks because he's got money to spend. So it's like if you're making as much money as him, I get why you're going to spend $20K a month, $20K a week on prop challenges.
Yeah.
He's making that much in affiliate commissions from one firm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he has that a nice little nest egg to fall back on for sure.
For sure. And he's got a couple cars he could sell if he had to, cash out.
Absolutely.
A lot of people have gotten away from Top Step. I know that they don't do their sales anymore. They've changed a lot of stuff. A lot of affiliates got released and stuff. So I feel like the industry in general for prop has gotten, in a way, bigger because there's like so many more firms. But at the same time, I'm seeing so many people do what you're doing, bro, and trade a live account. Just put some money in their own personal account and trade it. What would be for the people that have not done that? Do you have any like first time advice of like, watch out for this, set up these risk settings, go with this broker or do with this, any like must haves? Cause like, even for someone like me, I'm not trading personal capital right now. Give me some advice so I don't fuck anything up. Cause I will.
Yeah. The first one would be to look at margin requirements. And given like if you trade one lot or two lots or contracts, I should say, look how much margin is required for said size, and just deposit that amount because oftentimes you deposit an amount and you won't be able to trade the size that you normally trade. But aside from that, nothing really to watch out for. It's a pretty straightforward process. The only thing would be to if you have an LLC, like I have a trading LLC, you can actually register your account with your LLC name because the issue with registering with your personal name is you can't wire your profits to your business account. It would have to go to your personal. Yeah. So register it with your LLC so it goes directly to your LLC and not to your personal. I guess that's one little.
That's a good tip. That's definitely an important tip. And I think people like with the prop stuff, people don't have that luxury. People don't have that option. Most of the props, at least that I've seen, are making people take it to their personal name and stuff like that, which you got to deal with, especially for some people that are not going to take a ton of payouts. But, this year I'm singing it, bro. It's almost like as more prop firms come out, more people go trade personal money, which is super interesting. So I'm going to be like super excited to see how many of like my guys transition over, how many of my listeners stop being interested in prop and more interested in like just trading their own money. And it's cool to see like some of the prop firms are trying to offer good stuff like daily withdrawals and stuff like that in their live. But at the end of the day, does anything beat trading your own money?
Yeah, I don't think so. And also like a lot of live programs don't really have any incentive for trading the live program, right? At least I've seen a couple that have been thrown out there, but it does not beat trading your own personal capital.
Definitely not.
It does not. And I think there's a something that goes on in your mind about it being your personal portfolio. Like I think about it like this is my track record. I could show this to an investor down the line in 5 years. But you're building something. You're building your track record, which I think is extremely important for all traders.
100%. Do you feel like as a new trader, the focus should be on from the jump building a track record? Because like I didn't do that when I got started. I didn't really care. I was just trying to make money. Do you think I would have been better off? Hey, like you're saying the mindset of like build a track record, go slow. That's what you're really saying. Don't rush it. Don't torch this thing, right? Like that's what you're really saying by like build a track record.
Yeah, I said build a track record when you have a track record of being successful, because what good is it starting a live account and boom, saying you're going to build a track record when you're not even consistent. So I would say just trade conservatively and just get used to making professional sound trading decisions. And once you can do that consistently, then that's when you can start beef up a live account and then actually start building the track record, link it to your TradeZella, etc. But at first, I don't think you should worry about doing that. I think you should just worry about executing well. And you don't know what executing well is without experience. So just build up experience at first.
You don't know what executing well until you build up experience. That's true. 100%. Are you using the TradeZella? Speaking of TradeZella, are you using the backtesting thing? Because that wasn't out when we did the first video together.
No, actually.
It's pretty cool. I just did a video with this guy, Lawrence. He showed me how he's using it. You basically take a session and then you show it the entries. So it's kind of like a by hand back test. Okay. But then what it does is once you show it the entries, it calculates all the data. So you don't just have a markup of a winning trade. You actually get how far did it go? How long did it take? X, Y, and Z. So you actually get stats from it. So it's an interesting mix of like auto back testing with manual back testing, if that makes sense.
That's really cool. Yeah. TradeZella does an incredible job at displaying all the metrics. So seeing that with your back tested data is game changer. With back testing, I feel like I don't need to backtest anymore. And my form of backtesting is reviewing today's price action. So at the end of the day, I just see what happened. I just test the data from like today, and I just do that every single day. It's getting an extra up every single day. So I don't need to go back and do massive data collections like I've done in the past, because I don't need to do that anymore.
So final thing, great tip on the backtesting there. Where do you think the market's going this year? Make a prediction for us. It's June and middle of June. Are we seeing a new all-time high this year? When we do our next episode and you're back to trading ES and NQ, are we going to be at all-time highs or are we going back lower? What do you think? Give me an ES and a US indice prediction, and then give me a gold prediction.
Oh, okay. So let's start with the indice prediction. I think tariffs are going to be a net positive thing by the end of the year, personally. So I do see us hitting all-time highs, and we could even hit all-time highs like soon. I don't even know, but we're close.
I agree.
I do think we end with a positive year. By how much, I'm not sure, but I do think we will. I mean, the market's programmed to go higher, right? And I think tariffs are going to kick in, and it's going to be a net positive for the economy, for the stock market. I think we're going to rally a little bit more. I think we have great leadership in the government right now, and I think we're going to go higher. Now for gold, let me look at the chart really quick.
Pull it up. And where are we sending everybody, JP? Are we sending them to your Twitter page?
Yeah, they can go to JPO Capital.
Even though we just said he's not on that often, he's on. He's just not always active and getting he's not getting in the drama that I'm causing.
Yeah. I don't post every single trade, but I post when I can. And
I see you post the trades pretty often. So
yeah. Oh, okay. With gold, I do see us probably. Let me see. No, I definitely see us keep going higher. I think we're ultimately going to be a hedge against the U.S. dollar, and the U.S.
4,000.
Fair, yeah, I see that happening for sure. I mean, when you look at the weekly and the monthly, there's no signs of any bearish catalyst there. It's just bullish, strong momentum. So definitely in the 4,000s, I would say.
What's crazy is inflation is slowing month over month to like a snail's pace, and yet gold's still going higher. Why do you think silver is lagging? Like, because silver's not appreciating as much.
I don't know. I think it doesn't have the same use case as gold.
Good point.
Yeah.
What do you think when I had a dude on, this is the last thing that I'll let you go. We had a dude on the podcast, bro. He was talking to me about, his name was Taylor, a couple of episodes. He's a cool guy. He's a crypto guy. He's telling me about mining on asteroids. So I'm now thinking, I know they're already creating it. There are companies that are going to go mine gold and silver and all this shit, bro, off of shit in space. And it's going to be crazy, because then what does that do to the price of it? Well, argument is it increases supply, which can drop price. But how hard is it to get the gold from the asteroid back to Earth? Expensive as fuck, right? So then, so it'll be very interesting to see how that unfolds.
I don't know if it's worth to do that. Like,
exactly, it's not yet. But once the rockets are cheap, once it's easy, it might be.
True. Yep. But like you said, supply would be increased. So the question is, will the demand be there?
If we're using it for something maybe in space and with the technology even more. But that's why a lot of people, people always want the next best trade, bro. They want they'll say it's going to be cobalt, or it's going to be copper, or it's going to be nickel. These other nothing beats gold. Nothing's ever beat gold throughout history.
Even when you look at the CME data for metals contracts, gold is number one by a mile. Like by a mile. Silver's there, but like it doesn't have nowhere near the orders that gold does.
Have you tried trading the hogs or the cattle yet?
Oh no, I haven't. But I'm like, there's coffee here. Like I didn't even know.
There's coffee. There's soybeans. Yeah, and the cattle. I think it's the cattle. Maybe it's the hogs. That's like only 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. That's it every day.
Yeah, they close early. I have traded bonds. The 10-year.
Okay, the ZCs, the ZMs, or whatever. Yeah.
I've traded that a couple times. Yeah, it's very messy on the chart, but
very messy.
It's very liquid. It's actually, if I'm not mistaken, it's more liquid than NQ and ES.
I've heard that. There's so many bond traders.
Yeah.
Especially right now with the way the yields are working, I'm sure even more people want to trade the bonds because they're more volatile. They're more talked about now.
So liquid.
Yeah. Yeah, the futures markets are amazing. They offer so much opportunity. And like you said, if anything, there's hopefully someone that'll listen to this episode and be like, I'll go check out. Like me, I've been looking at trading the Dow even more, which is similar to ES and NQ.
Yeah.
It's still something different, that sometimes moves differently. So I think there's just a lot of opportunity. People are like, no, everybody trades NQ. I trade NQ. Well, that doesn't always mean that's where the opportunity is. In fact, there's something called a commission to trade or commission to trade report. Something I had a guy on a few weeks ago. We talked about this. Do you know Bernd Skoropinski? He's a prop trader. He's like a famous German dude. He has his company, and they trade off of this report. And the skinny of what I'm trying to say is certain markets like cattle or hogs, whatever it is, his partner told me the retail market is more often right than not. Whereas in the indices, the retail market is often wrong. When the retail market is 80% long, it's probably going to dump. But in the other commodities like cattle or hogs, I think it was cattle, he said, because the farmers, they actually know what's going on. The retail, like the people on the ground actually know what the fuck is going on. I was like, okay, that's interesting. What?
So are the farmers placing trades? Like how?
I don't know. That's where I'm like, I don't think the farmers are the ones, but there are people on the ground, maybe at the Mercantile Exchange or at the Chicago Board of Trade somewhere. They actually are getting better information than the masses get. That's what he said. So from their reports, retail is normally right in those other markets, where in some, like in the indices, retail is usually wrong, especially when it gets extremely weighted on one side, long or short. Super interesting.
Yeah, I know Burns bases his trading decisions off of like a lot of macroeconomic data.
Yeah, he does the opposite of what everybody else is doing. It seems like a lot.
He's trading like the daily chart.
Yep. They were right. He showed me proof that they called the top back before the sell-off in February or whatever it was. They were short. They were right. So that's why he's popular, bro. He gets his shit good.
Yeah, you can, after some years in the space, you can kind of filter out who's kind of a more professional trader, and he seems like a very professional guy. He's not really flashing any lifestyle. He's generally providing value, and he has the results to show for it.
And I love his accent with the charts. I love it. It's so nice. I love the German accent.
Yeah, and he's a good-looking German guy, bro.
Dude, sharp. He used to like work in, like, he's an engineer. Like, he's like got an engineer brain. So that's why he's sharp, dude. Yeah,
it's like Ken.
Literally, bro, he does. That's how I picture all German dudes, though. Like tall, blonde.
Yeah. Perfect accent, by the way.
Thank you. Dude, because after that episode, I had him on a couple of years ago. People were going nuts about the charts, like, because that was like the takeaway from the episode was his accent. Because in the episode, I asked him something about like, why do you trade still? Like, why aren't you? He's like, I just love the charts, and I'm like, yeah, me too, me too, bro. I fucking love them. I fucking love it. Yeah. But Juan, it's been great, bro. I'm glad we finally got to do this, buddy. So everybody, make sure you follow Juan on Twitter. I'll put the link in the description. I'm sure we're gonna get another episode done. Maybe after I get settled, I'm going to be back in Fort Lauderdale. I'll come down to you. We'll do a part 3 in person. I think that's the point that we're at now.
That would be great, man. I want to thank you for having me on today. It's always a pleasure.
Dude, always a pleasure. Listeners, thank you guys for staying all the way through. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of our future episodes, and we'll see you guys next week.